All right, welcome back to the movie spreadsheet. This is the Sunday live edition where I go over all the movies that I watched this week. I talk about the streaming wars and which streaming services are really worth your money, and then I ask a fun little question about each of these streaming services and each of these movies, the context of these movies, and we're going to try to answer the big question. So we'll do some lists. We'll talk about some movies and we'll see what streaming services are dominating right now. Let me draw your attention to this screen where you can see in the top right hand corner the streaming cup after two movies. Let's do a quick rundown of how we got to this point. And let's just check out the streaming grid, which you can see now changing on my screen because I'm an absolute G when it comes to figuring out this stuff. So let's just go ahead and start with the worst place by far. It has been Paramount. The two movies that I have had to watch Paramount were Awful Vicious and The Naked Gun. Both movies I would say don't watch under any circumstance. In eighth place, we have that big gap, 11 points. Then we have HBO Max in eighth. And I just saw that actually HBO Max is getting Flight Risk as the new movie November 27th. So this upcoming movie is something that Stars actually had first and also like didn't really score that well. So, and speaking of Stars, we got Stars in seventh place with 16 points, beating out HBO Max. We have Peacock, which I think is the sleeping giant of movies that get so much new content, at least a new movie a week going on there. They're in fifth or in sixth with 23 points. Then we have Prime at 23 points. I mean, it's the forgotten streaming service. Everybody knows that, hey, you have it. It comes with Prime. But ultimately, but ultimately, and also too, like comment in the chats, like keep typing out in the chats. Yeah, my sister just got Paramount for my dad for his birthday, and he like loves it. So he just lays around and watches like Yellowstone or Yellowstone spinoffs or whatever. And then in fourth place we have Disney. Now I remember Disney has this kind of big issue, and that big issue with Disney is the fact that they don't release a lot of new movies. But that being said, a very Jonas Christmas movie just came out. I've watched it. I'm here to talk about it today. Number three, we have Netflix, 30 points, really solid. Second, we have Apple TV because they've had some great stuff on there recently. And I just also watched F1. And then finally, in first place after two movies, Hulu with 42 points, largely because of how good Sovereign was. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about each of the movies I watched this week. I've watched 4 for the streaming services, starting with Osiris. Then I'll go through and do the bonus points, which I've added over here in this amazing curated spreadsheet that we have going on over here. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into Osiris, and then we will talk about some other stuff after that. So let's jump over here, look at a new graphic. It's amazing. Let's talk about Osiris first. Osiris is the movie that shouldn't have been made, that you don't need to watch. And if you're going to try to watch it, you need to have your phone as far away from the screen as you possibly can, because you're going to need it, right? And so Osiris overall 400 out of 416. So this is really freaking bad. It's also like one of my lowest viewed movies. So Hulu tends to not have a lot of views for the shorts. Maybe it's because of me. Maybe it's because not a lot of people have Hulu or are watching Osiris, but this was the number one streaming movie when I watched it. Entertainment score of 1. It's super boring. We have achievement goal of 1. It's not a great alien movie. And then we have an ending of 2, where like I guess it tries to be deep at the end and it's really not. And then finally we have a length of 1, because for some reason it's longer than an hour and a half. And honestly, if it's an alien movie, it should be an hour and 20. If it's like an independent alien movie, it should be even shorter. So that's Osiris. Don't watch it under any circumstance. But I would say to watch instead for Osiris, I would say go ahead and watch Predators. Predators is awesome. And I'm actually going to ask the question, like, what are the best aliens fighting humans movie? That's what we're going to actually answer right after we go through and we look at Osiris back on the spreadsheet. So let's jump back over to here. We see Osiris is right here in that 21 spot, which I've just amazingly highlighted for you and moved to the center of the screen. Let's see if it's going to pick up any additional points. It doesn't convert that pole position. Remember, if you have the high points from last week and then you have to turn around and watch a movie again and you win, that's worth plus 5. We know that's not going to happen, so nobody's going to get pole position this week. Best performance, no. I haven't seen everything, but I can tell you we're not going to have best performance here. Fastest lap, no, it's not the quickest movie. Best moment, no, yeah, absolutely not the best moment. It was awesome. It was awesome as this new category where I'm gonna be like, hey, it was awesome when this happened. For instance, ballerina. When a guy's got a flamethrower and ballerina's got the the fire hose and they splash each other. I'm like, that was awesome. Bonus points. It was awesome. Okay, hidden gem. No, Osiris is a movie that you should never watch. Emotional impact. No emotional impact whatsoever. Notable song. No notable song. And then also something cool. Nothing cool. Actually, I'm going to give it 1 point for something cool. And here's the cool thing about Osiris. Osiris is the wording for Osiris comes from trying to split this out. The Voyager space probe on it has got a bunch of crap on it, but on it they've attached a map of our solar system and they've sent it out into deep space essentially. And so a lot of people worried or have fear that the idea of something finding it and then being like, oh look, they sent a map to where we are. We can easily go back and get these people. So they call it the Osiris map. So that was something cool. That backstory was something cool. So it's going to pick up 1 bonus point for Osiris, giving it weekly points of 13 as of right now. So it's still in first place, but we know that's absolutely going to change when we add in some other bonus points. Other movies are gonna push this one way down towards the bottom. Okay, so let's get to the really awesome part. A lot of people in the chat tonight. This is amazing. Let's get to the awesome part where I pull up this right here. Look at this. No big deal. Using Canva. Boom. Here we go. So what are the 10 best aliens fighting humans movies? And so what I mean by this is like it can't be, I don't want space versus space. I don't want like, hey, we're going out into space and fighting aliens. No. I don't want, like, you can't say Star Wars. A lot of the stuff had like Avengers as alien movies. Those don't count. So you can see all my honorable mentions right here. So I'm going to run through my honorable mentions real fast, and then I'm going to reveal my movies one at a time. So here we go. District 9. Absolutely, I love this movie. I'm not so sure it's aliens fighting humans as much as it is about like alien settlement, which is like also like just really about like Johannesburg and apartheid essentially. Honorable mentions: Starship Troopers. Starship Troopers, fun fact, Hallie, if you're out there, you'll know this one. Starship Troopers, I've probably watched like 20 times because it was one of 3 movies that came with the original DVD player that we had. We had like 6 Days and 7 Nights, Starship Troopers, and then something else. And we would watch 6 Days and 7 Nights and Starship Troopers. We'd watch Stargate. Sorry, that's down here toward the bottom. What am I doing? Starship Troopers, Alien Space Combat. We got Predators, which is like my favorite aliens versus human movies, but that occurs off planet. So I'm not counting that if it occurs off planet. Ender's Game also occurs off planet. I love it. Men in Black almost made the list. Last Starfighter. This is an awesome movie. All linked to a video game. And we got Cloverfield, The Mist, The Fourth Kind, Stargate Sphere, Life, and The Faculty, which is absolutely a throwback. So let's get into this. Let's reveal the number 10 spot. The number 10 aliens fighting human movies. And look, everything up that you see here on this screen is better than Osiris. That's the big takeaway, is that if you're like, maybe I've watched everything, no. If you've watched everything, you should watch anything but Osiris. So here we go. In the 10 spot, let's reveal. I'm going to delete it and see what happens here. Boom. Attack the Block. So Attack the Block, barely showing up on my screen over here. Apologies for that. It deals with kids in the London, like projects, I guess, and they're fighting off aliens, and it's just a cool idea, and so I really enjoyed that one. That's number 8. Number 10. Number 9, Pacific Rim. Hell yeah. How do you fight giant monsters? You fight giant monsters with giant robots that you and your partner have to be linked up in your brain because each has to control one half of the robot. Yes, I am absolutely here for this one. And this is also a Guillermo del Toro movie, which we're going to talk about another Guillermo del Toro movie today in Frankenstein. So that's number 8. That's number 9. Number 8, Dreamcatcher. I probably referenced Dreamcatcher more than any other movie when I taught psychology, which is going to sound super weird. And if you're ever like, I wonder what it's like to be in a class with this guy, it's just like what you see right here. It's all over the place. It's good fun. It's light. And you're probably going to learn something. Not a ton, but probably just learn a little something. So Dreamcatcher, it deals with like, your brain and how you store information, and also like you get to fight aliens. Number 7. War of the Worlds. I love this. I actually just referenced this one too. I love Dakota Fanning in War of the Worlds. It's like one of my favorite Dakota Fanning movies. So this one's awesome. Tom Cruise, great movie. Underappreciated in my opinion. Number 6, Signs. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get Signs and M. Night on all my lists as many times as I possibly can. This movie's awesome. Number 5, A Quiet Place. And we can do Quiet Place and A Quiet Place Part 2. I would say it's on the lighter side of aliens fighting humans. So if you're like, I want more like guns, well, like, okay, Osiris is like all gunfire, aliens versus humans. Let's get to number 4 on the list of the best aliens fighting humans movies. The Tomorrow War, underappreciated. This is like a top 25 movie on the spreadsheet. I love it. It's on Prime. It's easy to watch. It's Chris Pratt. I've watched it like 4 or 5 times. And every time, it's one of those movies that's on the spreadsheet. And people are like, how can that movie be so high on the spreadsheet? It's actually number 10 because it's awesome. It does exactly what you expect it to do. So it gets high marks. So that's Aliens Fighting Humans. Number 4, Aliens Fighting Humans. Number 3, Edge of Tomorrow. I love this movie over and over and over again. The day, it's like Groundhog's Day with aliens and combat. And like, yes, absolutely. I'm here for it. Number 2, Mars Attacks. Come on, this is a classic aliens fighting humans movie. I actually just picked it up on DVD, so I'm excited to watch that. Yes, I still have DVDs. Yes, my wife hates that I still buy DVDs and have DVDs. Finally, number 1, and I actually saw this one in the chat. Somebody said that Independence Day better make this list. Not only does Independence Day makes this list, it tops the list. Because what better aliens fighting humans movie do we have than Independence Day? And that's the list. So drop a comment in the chat. What's your favorite aliens fighting humans movie? Anything up here stand out? Did I leave anything off? And also don't forget, any of these is better, much better than Osiris. So let's go back to this. That was Osiris. Let's now talk about highest to lowest, which is going to be right here. Boom. Now you guys get to see me like my glory. We're all zoomed in right here. Somebody in the chat was like, yes. Independence Day. Come on. That's such an obvious answer, right? All right. Let's talk about highest to lowest because this is a movie that I would not have chosen to watch. It came out in like September. It's like a Spike Lee movie, which like usually aren't my favorite movies. Denzel Washington's in it, which is pretty sweet. So how did this movie turn out? This movie was a 6.0 for me. The story was kind of weird, and like this is a remake of a movie from the 60s, a Japanese movie from the 60s, and it's kind of all like it's really showcasing New York, right? Like it opens with like a 3 or 4 minute song for the credits, and then there's going to be another 3 or 4 minute song in there, and there's like 2 more 3 or 4 minute songs. Then there's like an A$AP Rocky thing at the end. Then it ends with another song at the end. So it's really drawn out with all those additional minutes added into it. And if you took those out, my catchphrase is if you took those out, you'd have a better movie. And so if you took those out, you would have a better movie. But I mean, it's showing in New York. So if you love New York, I don't. This could absolutely be a movie that you would like. I also really had a hard time with that ending. I thought it could have been a way cooler ending than what it was. And I did take a penalty in this one because the dialogue / acting, I'm not going to say it's acting. I'm not going to say it's dialogue. It's like whichever one it was. There were times where I was like, that didn't really work. And that was, that happened a few times this week for movies I watched. F1 being the big movie where they had the dialogue / acting issue. Okay. So highest to lowest, 217 on the spreadsheet, 6.0 overall, so above average. Help that average come up. I think in this one, like if you're into Spike Lee, obviously you're gonna watch it. But if you like New York and you want to appreciate New York, it's like this movie is an easy watch. It's on Apple TV. It is long though. It is gonna run 2 hours and 8 minutes long, and about 20 of that is gonna be music. So if that's what you're into, this will work for you. If you're not into this, like that's not for me. Now, let's look at the spreadsheet real quick. Going back over to here. Look at those smooth transitions. It's insane. So for highest to lowest, we have it's 74 days old from the release date to now. So that's entirely too old. I have a modifier to the spreadsheet. It's not going to affect the overall score on the spreadsheet, but it is going to affect the weekly standings. And so the way that's going to work is that essentially if your movie is older than a certain number of days, it's going to take off we're just gonna take off up to 3 points. So it's gonna lose 3 total points. And so this is where it is right now. Apple TV is currently sitting in third place with 47 points. But let's see if we're going to add any additional points for highest to lowest from the bonuses. Okay, so pole position, no, doesn't convert that. Best performance, no. Fastest lap, no, it's not the quickest movie. Best moment, it's not from this movie. It was awesome. I don't have it. It was awesome. Hidden gem. I'm going to give it a point for Hidden Gem because I don't know many people that are talking highest to lowest, and I do think it's worth a watch. Emotional impact, no. Notable song, no. Which, like, for a movie that's about music, it should pick up a point for notable song. And then something cool from this movie. Yeah, I'm going to give it a point for something cool, and I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to spoil it. But there's something cool that happens toward the end where the plot kind of like morphs into something else, like what you think the movie's going to be about. It's not. I think it's cool generally when movies do that. So we give it 2 additional points. That's going to help out the overall score, 49. It's really going to offset that negative 3 points for how old this movie was. But let's go ahead and jump over to movies that showcase a city. I don't need to ask Canva anything. I need to get that off my screen. So here we go. Now, this one I've kind of done a little bit differently. This is all like a trial and error. So what I'm going to do for here is I'm going to go through here and I'm going to build my list with you. So these are the movies I essentially pulled out, movies that showcase a city. So when I think about these movies, I think about cities. And I've got them all over here. The only ones you can't see because I'm unable to scroll down for some reason. I'm not. Maybe I do this. Boom. Yeah, there we go. We got Lost in Translation there in the middle, and Bridesmaids in the Host. So let's kick off this list. And I'm going to kick off this list. Why do older movies get negative points? Okay, this is a good question from chat. Sounds like a super attractive person asking that question. The reason why older movies get negative points is because the whole idea is that if you're paying for Apple TV and all these streaming services, then you expect there to be like a decent amount of releases to it. It's like if it's too stagnant and they're not releasing new stuff, then you'd be like, why am I paying for this? They're not updating this the streaming service with more movies. And it's not really fair to compare a Disney Plus or like a Apple TV who releases like one movie a month or one movie like every 2 months to like a Netflix who's releasing movies every single week. And so it's not a massive gap of points, but it's more something to note like, hey, Apple TV just doesn't put out a lot of new movies. And sometimes when they do, it'll be like they release Napoleon in May and they release Napoleon Director's Cut in August and they count that as a new release. It's like, it's not a new release. It's the same movie, just a little bit longer. So that's why there's a negative point. But again, it doesn't affect the weekly ranking. It only affects like the overall score that it gets for the points carrying over from each week. So it's not. I mean, 3 points is nothing major on the grand scheme of things, according to ChatGPT. Anyways, okay. So let's get back to this, and let's go movies that showcase the city. And I'm actually going to kick this one off with what I have to put in 9 because this movie reminds me of a European vacation with my sister when we randomly decided we were in London. And we randomly decided to go to Bruges, and we spent a day in Bruges, and it was awesome. And we got lost, and we walked all over, and it just reminded me of watching this Colin Farrell movie in Bruges. So shout out to In Bruges at number 9 that I made up on the spot right there. Okay, I know my number 1 is going to be Lost in Translation. I know it's like anticlimactic to put it up there, but that's what we're going to do. So Lost in Translation is number 1. There's no surprise there. I love the movie. I want to go to Tokyo. It looks just awesome. I want to go to Japan. I want to experience it. I want to poop my pants in Japan. Sounds amazing. Okay, let's now go to other movies that are cool that need to be on here. All right, so for number 8, we're going to put Changeling. So Changeling is awesome. It deals with the 1920s in LA. It's a really sad story. If you have kids, I would say don't watch this movie. If you don't, or you don't like care if like things happen to kids, and like you can watch this movie. But it's a true story of the like Wineville chicken coop like murders, and it's just really interesting, and it talks a lot about like the LAPD at the time and like a minister. And I actually just referenced this movie to my wife about it being like reverse typecast with some of the people they cast in these choices. So Changeling is really cool. let's look at number 7, and I'm absolutely going to find a way to always get a Neil Blomkamp movie on here in Chappie. And honestly, I could go Chappie, or I could go District 9 about Johannesburg, but I think Chappie is a better representation of Johannesburg, having never been there, than District 9 is, because, you know, it's got like aliens out the wazoo for District 9. Okay, number 6. What are we going to do here? I'm going to go with something clever here. I'm going to go with Bridesmaids. I think everything I know about Milwaukee comes from watching the movie Bridesmaids. Like, I know where not to eat at that Brazilian steakhouse. I know like where to dress shop. I know like everything about Milwaukee is literally from Bridesmaids. And also, what an awesome movie that deserves to have some recognition on Movies That Showcase the City and movies that are recommended on the movie spreadsheet. So obviously you've seen Bridesmaids, watch Bridesmaids. All right, let's go to number 5, which I'm going to put up here, The Host. All right, so The Host is an older movie from the early 2000s. It's about Tokyo. It's about Seoul, and it's all about South Korea. So it's really cool, and it involves an alien. I feel like you learned a lot about it. You could honestly put probably like Parasite in here, except The Host is more about the city, and Parasite's more about like the social economic structures in place. So that's The Host. Number 4. Let's look at this real quick. Ooh, Untouchable Chicago, Do the Right Thing, Brooklyn, The Town. The Town should be higher than 4, so we know The Town's going to be in it, which is where. Okay, I got this one. All right, number 4 is we're going to go City of God. This was like the first independent movie I watched that made me feel like super, super deep. When I watched it, I was like, yeah, no big deal. I watched City of God. I watched Rio, and you know, I've seen Rio and all this kind of stuff. So really, really liked City of God. I'd highly recommend this one if you haven't seen it. So really cool movie. Number 3 we're gonna do is Casino, all about Vegas. This movie is just awesome. Right? Like all about the making of Vegas and everything going on. Oh, what's up, Jace, in the chat? What's going on? And then finally, number 2. I mean, this is a movie that, I mean, it's going to be The Town. We know it's going to be The Town. This movie is so awesome. Like my sister was living in Boston, I think, at roughly the time. And I'd always be like, hey, have you ever been like to Southie or blah, blah, blah? And acting like I know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. But The Town is an awesome movie that showcases Boston. That's my list of movies that showcase the city. What would be on your list? Drop it in the chat. Did I miss one? I'm sure I missed one, but there are some awesome ones in here. Lives of Others. If you haven't seen Lives of Others, you need to watch this movie. This movie's insane. It's all about like the Stasi, the secret police of East Berlin, and spying on people. It's got an amazing ending. We got Fargo, Rocky, The Warriors, probably the coolest like fighting movie ever. The Warriors. Mystic River I almost put up in there for like The Town, but I went with The Town instead. Do the Right Thing and The Untouchable. So that's what we got going on for movies that showcase a city, and those are all movies that you could watch if you're trying to learn about like a city. It is set in New Orleans. What's set in New Orleans? Curious Case of Benjamin Button. I don't want to learn anything more about New Orleans. Like, I've learned enough about New Orleans to not have to watch movies about just getting mixed. But Lost in Translation, I think easily takes the cake for this one. All right. So now let's go back to here, just maneuvering through the spreadsheet. Let's talk about Frankenstein, which was the movie I was most excited to watch this week, besides the Jonas Christmas movie, which I'm super pumped for. All right, so we have Guillermo del Toro, direct to Netflix, Frankenstein. So let's look at it overall. We have an overall score of 7.2, making it movie number 154 in the spreadsheet, well above average. You should absolutely be watching Frankenstein, especially if you like the monster movies, the monster genre. Like, I'm going to pose the question, like, what is Guillermo del Toro's best movie? And that's what I'm going to answer. So I'm not going to answer that yet. It's coming. Let's talk about the overall category scores. Entertainment, 7.5. Yeah, highly entertaining. Really, the prologue, check us out. The prologue, fancy word for the beginning. The prologue was awesome because it really sets the tone. And then you realize, then it cuts to like the story of Victor Frankenstein, which is like, okay, it's a little bit slow. And then it cuts to the story of Frankenstein's monster, which is really, really good, especially like that middle part of the story, and then it goes to that epilogue, which is everything getting wrapped up. And I just felt like the monsters part was awesome, and the beginning was awesome. Victor Frankenstein's part was okay, and then you have the end was like also okay. So we have achievement and goal score here of 8. Like, this is a good monster movie. This is a good monster movie. I enjoyed it. Ending of 6, I would have liked there to be something maybe like a little more like insane to go on in it. And then length of 5. My issue with this movie with the length, was that it was too long or it was too short. Like, I almost think this would have been a better miniseries, which I know people are not going to agree with. I think you could have done an epilogue or a prologue that was like 45 minutes. Then I think you could have done Victor Frankenstein's story as like 1 or 2 parts, an hour a piece. Then you could have done the monster story for 1 or 2 parts a piece. And then you could have ended it and tied it up a little bit better. So this one's kind of weird for me. That's why I have the length at 5, because it either should have been shorter if we're going to make it a movie, or it needs to be longer if we're going to really tell the story that I think that we could tell. Princess and the Frog. Have not seen Princess and the Frog. Curious Case of Benjamin Button. It's a great movie. Okay. But you know what's weird about The Curious Case of Benjamin Button is when you're young, you don't understand it. And then as you get old and you're like dying and like your iron deficiency is like crazy low and like you're just like pooping your pants in random cities, you're like, oh, man, the youth really was wasted on, or the being young was wasted on the youth. And yes. Okay. So that's Frankenstein. Let's look if it's going to get anything good. Best performance. We're going to check best performance for now. So that's going to get some points for it. We're going to go best performance for the monster, which is played by that tall dude, Jacob Elordi. So we're going to like that. Best moment. Yes. It was awesome. Yes. Like the creation of Frankenstein in this movie, where everything is like all the lightning is coming down and it's all storming together. Although I do have like one massive like plot question, is that like if you're waiting for a lightning storm to like awaken your monster and you have to like screw something into the top of a tower, why would you wait until the lightning storm comes to do that? Why wouldn't it already just be like set up, established at the top of the tower, and then be like, okay, here we go? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But it was awesome when they create the monster, and just this scenes, like the setting of that movie is really cool. So it was awesome. Hidden gem. No, this is a big movie. Emotional impact. I think emotional impact in terms of if you look at the way that Victor Frankenstein was raised by his father, and then like if you're a parent, you're gonna be like, oh wow, like look at how this just gets passed down, like bad cholesterol from parent to kid to then offspring. So that emotional impact for sure. Notable song, There Is None. Something cool. Yeah, there is definitely something cool. Just the way the monster looked was really cool. So this was an awesome movie, and he's huge, like he's really big. So love that one. So that's gonna shoot Netflix way to the top for the week. So I did a horrible job there. Here are the bonus points I gave it. Best performance, best moment. It was awesome. Emotional impact, and something cool. So that's going to take Netflix to first. 64 season points this week, 34 points because of the first place plus all the bonuses. That could change based on other movies I watch. And then let's get into ranking Guillermo del Toro movies. One more sip of water. Look at how I made it all red and spooky. Okay, so there are 4 movies from Guillermo del Toro that I have not seen. I haven't seen Kronos, Mimic, and The Devil's Backbone, or the new Pinocchio, which like I'm not like watching the new Pinocchio movie. So that's those are the ones I haven't seen. So those are ineligible. Let's go ahead and start with. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is why there are 9 spots. Let's go ahead and start with the worst of these movies, which is going to be Blade 2. I really blew it. I wish that blew. I wish that was behind it in terms of the position. So anyways, Blade 2. I mean, Blade was fine. I like Blade. Blade 2, just as we progressed for more and more Blades, it just kind of got out of control. Plus, there was like so many vampire movies going on at the time. It was like another vampire movie. It was like Underworld with Kate Beckinsale. and all these other vampire movies. We had Twilight, shout out, like it takes place in like Washington. So like yes for Washington, no for Twilight representing Washington. All right. So after Frankenstein, what comes next? We're going to go with Crimson Peak. And if you've seen Crimson Peak, there are going to be scenes in Frankenstein, especially with Mia Goth, where like Crimson Peak is definitely going to come stick out. You're going to be like, wow, that scene looks a lot like something you would see in Crimson Peak. Very similar style for that movie, and it's the same director, obviously. Okay, number 7. So now we got to make some tough decisions here because I'm liking a lot of these movies, but we're going to go with Nightmare Alley. This was a weird one, but I mean, these are all decent movies. I think really from 7 up, we're having movies that would score generally well on the spreadsheet, but movies that I haven't watched recently enough to put on the spreadsheet with a score. Number 6. All right. I think we got to go. I think for 6, we got to go. Now I'm really struggling. Okay, 6. What are we looking at here? Let me check chat just to buy time. Okay. All right, let's go with, for 6, let's go ahead and let's do Hellboy Golden Army. And I really like this movie. This is a really cool movie. I like the Hellboy movies a lot. So we're going to put that there at 6. And then it gets a little bit easier from here because at 5, we're going to go Hellboy. Slightly better. I mean, again, I think those 2 movies are so good. I just found a Twilight book in the garage. It's my husband cheating on me. Yikes. He's writing his own Twilight like fan fiction. Okay. So then from here, we're going to obviously go with Pacific Rim. Not obviously, but this movie was great. Saw it in the theater. No big deal. And then for 3, we're going to go ahead and go with Frankenstein. So it's my 3rd favorite. Number 2, we're going to go with The Shape of Water. If you have not seen The Shape of Water, you should watch The Shape of Water because you're going to go one of 2 ways on this one. You're going to love it, or you're going to be like, what did I just watch? What is going on in this movie? So Shape of Water, I'm going to put it there. I haven't watched it in a while, so maybe Frankenstein would be higher, but I really like Shape of Water. The number 1, not even close, Pan's Labyrinth. I can't tell you how many times I watched Pan's Labyrinth at the Warner Theater in Morgantown, West Virginia. Yes, Jace, absolutely. The Hellboy movies are absolutely worth watching. The first one deals with like Rasputin. It's just really cool. There's a bunch of cool effects, and it all comes before the Marvel universe. I really enjoy them. And then the second one is honestly like really cool as well. That they do a really good job with the bad guys, and the characters are really cool. So yes, dude, definitely check out the Hellboy movies. Big fan of those. All right. Pan's Labyrinth, I think I saw like 3 or 4 times. The Warner Theater, Morgantown, West Virginia. I felt super deep watching these movies because it's foreign. I'm in there with my Carvalanche because I've told this story before. At the movie theater in Morgantown, they had it as a single screen theater, and it was attached to a Carvel. And if you got something from Carvel, you could go in the back door of the Carvel, and it would attach to the movie theater, and you could go in. So you could essentially buy a Carvel and go into the movies, and it would be like a fraction of the price, and it was amazing. So you'd be sitting there eating like your Carvalanche, watching Pan's Labyrinth. Some of the scenes in Pan's Labyrinth, like when the guy gets cut on the face and it splits open, it's just nuts. And you know, it led to a bunch of new techniques for the way that they did some of those effects. So it's an awesome movie. Still my favorite, Pan's Labyrinth for sure. So that's my Guillermo del Toro rankings. Like what would be your favorite Guillermo del Toro movie? I would say if you haven't seen Pan's Labyrinth, definitely watch that one. It's going to say it's like a fairy tale. It's not a fairy tale. This is definitely not a fairy tale. So don't watch this one with your kids. Not kid friendly. And that's going to take us to the final movie of the week, which I actually don't have a graphic for because I just finished it. But let's talk about A Very Jonas Christmas. Now look, I thought Disney was going to be in trouble because Disney doesn't always publish when they're going to release these new movies. And for this time, they snuck in a very Jonas Christmas, and they also pushed something out into Hulu, The Roses. So there actually is new content on there, and they're not getting penalized for having to watch something super old. So a very Jonas Christmas. Let me give you my rankings for it. So let's pull this up here. Let's go to Jonas. All right. That's not correct because that's out of order. But watch this. Boom, Z to A. Then we can search for Jonas again. Bam. Here it is. Go to here. Click. Drag this down to 288. All right. And there we have a very Jonas Christmas right here. Okay, so here's the big question. If you don't like the Jonas Brothers, are you going to watch this? Are you going to like this movie? No. It surprisingly starts like with Will Ferrell. Again, this is all spoiler free. It starts with Will Ferrell. And that's his only part in the movie, and then it's just essentially about like the Jonas Brothers getting home for Christmas. That's the whole thing. It's an hour and 14 minutes and 41 seconds. It is a very, very short movie, which is like fantastic. Now there is a lot of singing in this movie, and I've said before. Yeah, Allie, I'm being dead serious about the Jonas Brothers having to watch this movie. There is a lot of singing in this movie as it is a musical, and I like am a self-proclaimed like not liker of musicals unless it's like musicals that feature songs of famous artists that like I know. So like I really like Rocket Man because it's like all Elton John, or Blinded by Light, which is all, I think it's Blinded by Light, but it's all the Bruce Springsteen songs. So I like movies that have songs from artists that we know. Even the Bob Dylan one was really good. A Complete Unknown. So, but if it's like made up songs, then I'm not on board for this one at all. So here's the big thing that you should know about the Jonas Brothers movie is that it's a very light planes, trains, and automobiles to come home, right? So that's the whole movie is them trying to get home from Europe. Plus them singing. There are, now I should go over to here. Actually, let's do the rest of these. So entertainment score 4. The plot is okay, especially to start the movie. Then towards the end, it's just like, no. Achievement, a goal score here. We have a 5. Like, it's okay. Again, ending is a 4 because it really just ends. You could have made this movie longer, although I don't want it to be. And then finally 10 for length because it's really, really short, hour and 14 minutes. So let's go over to here, the streaming grid. We get a very Jonas Christmas movie. We have watching it today. Release date was 11/14, so it's not that old, 9 days old. Movie spreadsheet score 4.55. It's the second lowest one we've watched for movie number 3. I've watched for movie number 3. Queen movie is a great call for movies that feature songs that we know. Place third for the week. Weekly points at 15. All right, let's look at performance. Best performance. No. Fastest lap. Yes, it's the quickest movie, and it's probably going to be best moment. Ooh. No, still Frankenstein. It was awesome. Yes, there's an it was awesome in here. Here's the it was awesome. Here's the cool it was awesome for this one. It was awesome when they got their little like sweaters and they're all like weird like schnitzel like hamburgers. They're schnitzel. Like yes, that part was awesome. Hidden gem. No, this is not a hidden gem. Emotional impact. Not emotional impact. Notable song. Yes. Okay, like if you're a music movie, no offense, like Highest to Lowest, and you don't have a notable song in there that makes me want to like listen to again, like you're are you doing a great job? Notable song for Jonas Christmas movie, yes, and there's 2 of them. The first one they play is freaking awesome, and the second one, I'm never doing the Wicked review. Don't even that's never happening. I'm not watching Wicked. It's like 5 hours long. It's all singing. So there is one I would download. It's that first one I liked. And the second song is a Home Alone duet. And it's like a spoof of like a Home Alone like musical. Really enjoyed that. But then the rest of the songs, it's just like absolutely not. Something cool. No. Actually, we're going to go no, it was awesome. We're going to go something cool was those sweaters. I thought those sweaters were cool. Maybe want to get one. So that is where we stand for the season points for a very Jonas Christmas. So 4th place for Disney. 4th place for Disney right now on 47 points. So trailing but we know that the other movies are going to be, the other streaming services are still to come. They're the ones who are in last place. They get extra time because they're in last place. Remember, it's a disadvantage to have to pick first because then you have to have like recent movies out. Okay. Here we go. The most controversial list that I've probably ever made. The definitive Christmas movie list. You ready to go? There's a lot here. I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit so it all fits on the screen. Zoom way out. I don't think I want to zoom this far out. All right, let's go. Let's just do this. Like, look, A Very Jonas Christmas. It's going down here. This is the non-honorable mention. This is like the yuck. Leave it down towards the bottom. 4.55. Nobody's watching this one. All right. So what are we doing with the rest of this list? Okay. No pressure. I need a sip of water to gather my thoughts. I think I have an idea what I'm gonna do for my top half. Now I got to figure out the bottom half. Chat, what would be your number? What would be your number one? It's only 9 on here. Wait a second right now. In the chat, somebody said Serendipity, and I asked my wife, does Serendipity count as a Christmas movie? And my wife said no. So if Serendipity counts as a Christmas movie, can we get like a consent in the chat going on here? Does Serendipity count as a Christmas movie? Because if it does, it's going up here and it's going in the top 9. So waiting on consensus in the chat. I wonder if I can add a poll to chat. This would be like, it's really, really deep if I can add a poll. Elf, we got Jingle All the Way coming up in the chat. Okay, so here we go. Let's start it off with number 9. I'm gonna throw in here Love Hard. Okay, so Love Hard. It's not family-friendly Christmas, but it is, I think it's really funny. It scores really well on my spreadsheet, which I'm going to drop back over to here. We're going to search Love Hard, and it's an 8.5. So Love Hard is really good. You should watch it, but it's not like your quintessential Christmas movie, which is why I have it on the down here at the 9 spot. Actually, no, I'm not going to have it in the 9 spot. I'm going to move that one out. Let's go ahead and do something classic. Let's go Home Alone at number 9. Like this is fine. Probably because I've watched it like a million times. But we're going to go Home Alone here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to delete this. And we're going to do a protest. And you know what we're going to do here? We're going to go Serendipity. Boom. Boom. Serendipity. Number 8. Yes. Yes. You know when he's like laying on the ice and like the glove comes flying across and you're like, yes, yes. Serendipity. Give me a good rom-com any day of the week. I'm not even sure if this movie's funny, right? Like, is Serendipity even funny? But it's a great romance adventure movie, romance drama, road drama. I don't even know. Light romance, is that a category? Whatever, rom-com. Okay, so we got that there. All right, what are we going with next? We're going to go with Scrooge next. This movie is hilarious. I love when she's like flying across and she punches Bill Murray in the face. Big fan of Bill Murray. And just confirmed, ChatGPT says Serendipity's a Christmas movie, so it counts as a Christmas movie. My wife actually saw Bill Murray at a bar in New Orleans and didn't go up to him or say anything. And even more shocking, I feel like if you're out with a group of people and you see somebody famous, like a movie star, the question has to be asked, what's your favorite insert celebrity, insert movie star name movie? That 100% has to be on there. That has to be asked. It wasn't. Disappointed. Okay, number 6. We're going to go with A Christmas Story. And I feel like such a boomer saying that, but A Christmas Story is so good. It's a classic. My sister and I used to watch this like every Christmas. We'd watch this. Well, like our parents were just like, leave us alone. Like, just, you got your toys, don't bother us. So this would be on and we watched it. It was like on TBS and we'd have it on and it was solid. Okay. So we're gonna go that at 6. At 5, we're gonna go with Just kidding. I'm not gonna do It's a Wonderful Life. We'll put it over here as an honorable mention. It's a Wonderful Life, but like, come on, like It's a Wonderful Life. I'm not watching that. Okay, let's go with number 5. Let's go with Christmas with the Cranks. I love this movie. I love how he's all a big curmudgeon and his like daughter's not coming home, and I totally get that. And then she decides to come home, and they gotta like just do everything up for Christmas, and it's a great movie. So we're gonna go 5, Christmas with the Cranks. We're gonna go number 4. We're gonna go is Christmas Vacation. God, this list is so boomery. This is like way too old for me. What am I doing? This is like an old man's list. It's like a guy who takes Metamucil. No, it was that or the black and white one with the girl ringing the bell. Yeah, that was It's a Wonderful Life. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wing. It's just like, okay. Do I need that? No. All right, let's get in this. All right, 3, we're gonna go Love Hard. I needed Love Hard to be on the podium. Love Hard's on the podium. If you haven't seen it, watch it. There's a great scene in this when she like sings in the bar. It's so funny, this karaoke. It's awesome. Okay, what else? What else gets separate? Home Alone 2, not even gonna get an honorable mention. I think it needs to go over here. It's fine. We don't need more than one Home Alone 2. Jack Frost, Ernest Saves Christmas. Every Ernest movie deserves a honorable mention. Okay, yeah, I mean, this is easy right here. 2 is Elf. Like, come on, this movie is, what was it? It's a Wonderful Life. They were on 24 hours. Go take my Saturday to the list. Yeah. All right, and then finally, so we got 1 is Elf, and then finally, let's go ahead and add that last one, which is going to be no doubt about it. Love Actually is the best Christmas movie. Like I said, give me a good rom-com any day of the week, and I'm on board for this. Let's go Planes, Trains, and Automobiles as a no. My parents love it. Let's get this crap off the screen. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen The Family Stone. This list is a combination of mom and dad's preferences, like where's white. Bing Crosby White Christmas should be on this list. Okay, so that's my Christmas movie list. I know people are gonna have opinions about this one. I saw somewhere up there like Edward Scissorhands is a Christmas movie, and my wife was like, "No, it's not." Chat, can I get a is Edward Scissorhands a Christmas movie? Is every rom-com a Christmas movie? I love The Holiday. It just doesn't make this list. I mean, maybe we go Home Alone. Maybe we go Home Alone honorable mention, and then we go The Holiday. And let's do that. Let's get as many rom-coms in this one as possible. So there we go. That's the final list. Okay, official. Stamp it. It's done. There we go. All right, so that's what we got. Those are my favorite Christmas movies. A Very Jonas Christmas movie. If you like the Jonas Brothers, you're probably gonna love A Very Jonas Christmas. And there's also like 2 songs in it that are decent. One's pretty funny, and one's just good. I don't know what to tell you. One's just good. Now I have so many questions about the Jonas Brothers. Like, which one is the heartthrob? Is it the middle one with the hair? It's not there's only 2. I mean, let's be honest. There's like 3, but it can only really be 2. And then there's like the young one. Like, would you marry like the least attractive Jonas brother to just be married to a Jonas brother? Like, I don't know how to answer this question. I legitimately don't know any of their songs. I'm not bragging about that. I'm too cool for the. No, I'm just kidding. But that's what we have for the Jonas Brothers. But yes, I learned a lot about the Jonas Brothers by doing research during it. Okay, what do we got on the chat? We got, is Edward Scissorhands? No, I'd agree with you. Okay, I would like you to watch Hot Frosty and review it. Hot Frosty? I'm not going to search this because it sounds like maybe it'd be weird. And just because it's snowing doesn't mean it's Christmas. Yeah, but what if it takes place? What if something happens at Christmas? Right? Like, isn't it the Edward Scissorhands where he's like all snipping everything, and she's like, "Oh, snowflakes," and he's like, and like trying to beat him, and like kills the guy. Like, okay, isn't that like Christmassy? I don't know. How much of a movie has to take place during Christmas for it to be Christmas? Also, Serendipity not being labeled as Christmas by me was a huge oversight because the entire movie takes place over like 3 different Christmas seasons. I know there's a fourth Jonas brother because they were in the movie. Like it's a showcase of the entire Jonas family. There's like one part where they sing songs and they all go their own ways, and then it's all like flashbacks of them as brothers. Like it's like home footage. I'm like, what's going on? This is weird. Okay, so let's go back to the movie spreadsheet. Let's go back to the streaming grid to see where we stand. So here's what we're looking at. And then let's just showcase what I'm going to be doing this week is watching a movie from Prime, from Peacock, from Stars, from HBO, and unfortunately from Paramount Plus because, wow, Paramount Plus is not putting out good movies. So that's where we stand. So thanks for checking out the weekly live section of the movie spreadsheet. Streaming Wars. Don't forget, I have shorts multiple days a week. Friday, I put out my what to watch. It's everything I watch, spoiler free, recommending something that might be better for you and better for your time, and try to provide it from the same streaming service. If I don't see you until next week, have an awesome Thanksgiving, and I will catch you later.